Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Morquez Forest, former CFFC interim lightweight champion. Hello, Morquez. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. And we are a few weeks after your fight for the undisputed lightweight championship. So, if you can tell me, did you have a chance to watch it back?
Uh, I mean, I've had the time to just heal and rewatch the fight. I've rewatched it, and I have to say I'm happy with the performance. I see the things that I could have done better. I see the improvements that I'm going to make, and you guys just look out for me when I return back to the cage.
And did he surprise you with anything in this fight?
Um, I was surprised about how calm he was and how he kept his composure. No matter how hard I hit him, he kept his composure. He never felt defeated, and I pressed the pressure against him, and he just, he showed why he's a vet of the sport. So it's definitely a lot of lessons that I learned in that fight. But yeah, just seeing how, what surprised me the most is him just not giving up, like him, like showing like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still fighting no matter what to the end. So I think that's what surprised me the most.
Overall, this fight, I believe, in this fight, you have a lot of great moments in the like all rounds, and I think that it's worth mentioning how good he is and how experienced he is because he defeated guys like Thiago Moises, Thiago Tavares, so UFC veterans. So I think that you did many things great, and overall, I think that this kind of fight easily could be on the UFC card because of your level.
And I think so too. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I mean, he's fought those tough battles. I've had tough wars as well, but I've never had someone take that kind of punishment, and then still keep fighting, and it was a respect thing between us both, and it was a lot of fun, but it it's going to take that type of vet, that type of experience to take someone like me out. So, like I said, my return to the cage is going to be something to watch for sure.
And in the perfect world, when would you like to fight again?
In the perfect world, I would love to fight in either October, November, or December. Like I want to get at least one more fight in by the end of this year, just to end the year with the win. Um, but if I have to wait till next year, I mean, I have so many options right now, but I definitely want to get back in the cage before the year is over. 100%.
And like overall, MMA is quite a crazy sport that like the short notice opportunity can happen in just a moment. So I think that with a win in your next fight, you can be a like option for the UFC if the fighter will be injured or something will happen.
Oh yeah, I'm staying positive for sure. I'm That's definitely on my mind as well. That's one of the options. I do think I would get that opportunity. I don't think that my stock dropped at all with this lesson. I actually think that it went up. If anyone watched the fight, then I don't have to go too much into details to show how tough I am or to show the improvements that I've made, and also the improvements I'm going to continue to make. I now have a 24-hour coach. I made transitions through this camp, so yeah, it's going to be different my next fight for sure.
And what I think also is quite interesting that you made your pro debut April last year. So within like 15 months, you could be it was a possibility you to be a like undisputed CFFC champion and go to the UFC, and it would be just 15 months. So I think that is quite a crazy story.
I appreciate it. I just love this sport, and I just love to test myself as a fighter. And also I love to see the different styles. I love to see how my style matches up against others. Anyone that's been following the journey, they know I don't say no to fights. I love the challenge. I feel like that's the only way to get better. So that's what I'm here to do, and I'm going to continue to test myself.
And of course, you also had a great amateur fights, a great amateur experience. You were undefeated. You were one of the best fighters in the US, actually. So it's not that you are just 6 fights in your career, but you are much more experienced, actually.
Yes, yes. I had 8 amateur fights, and again, I would tell anybody that's on the amateur scene, I say take those tough fights when you can, because once you get to that next level, it's only going to get harder and harder. So you want to get those improvements as an amateur, so that when you become a pro, you're confident in your skills, and I think that's what helped me out. Um, yeah, that helped me out a lot. I took those tough fights. I had a really tough fight for CFFC as well against one of my good friends and training partners, Store. So, you take those tough fights, and once you get to the pro level, it all feels normal. It all feels like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. I've worked hard to be here, and you just be prepared.
And if we can talk a little bit about your beginnings in the sport of MMA and overall combat sports, did you have any like additional background before you started your MMA career?
Yes, before this was my last year of wrestling was in 2012. So I did 3 years of wrestling, but I still felt the discipline that my coach Matt Cardi taught me. So I just took what I knew from there and then just transitioned it to MMA. I just started this journey in 2019. Yes. No, 2020. I just started my MMA career like as an amateur. I started in 2020. So it was I'm moving pretty fast with this sport for sure. I'm moving fast for where I started at.
And I think that there are like big advantages of this situation, because sometimes the fighters are starting like when they are like 18 years old, and when they are like 28, they are like, of course, super experienced, but they are a little bit beaten up, a little bit like injured. So actually they are not in their peak form, but they are like after this. And I think that even that you are right now 31, you have like many great years in the sport, because you like didn't you wasn't punched in the head for like 10 or 15 years.
Yes, I agree with that. Um, I feel like the time that I started was just the perfect time. I feel like me starting at this age, well, now 31, it's like I'm starting as a 20, those battles, or those years taken from me. Um, and I also feel like if I would have started at that age, I would have been distracted, uh, and I wouldn't have been able to be there financially. There's a lot of distractions when you're that young. So I think I started at the right time, and honestly, I feel like I'm in the prime of my career. And I think that this is the time for me. DC, I mean, I'm not trying to compare accolades at all, but DC is a legend of the sport now, and he started, his MMA career fighting at 30. So, and look what's going on with him. So, I truly believe in myself, and yeah, I'm a bounce back.
And probably when the fighters they are 18 or 20, it's sometimes probably it's super hard to be focused on the training because there are so many things to do, so many people around you. So it can be like even if you want to train, you want to be a champion, it can be a difficult thing.
Right. I can speak on my personal experience. As an 18-year-old or 19-year-old, there was no way that I was going to be able to stay focused on mixed martial arts. I know me, like at that age, I was, just hanging out, wanted to be around my brothers and friends and stuff like that. So, uh, it's easy to be distracted. You got to have that right person in your life to keep you on track. And not to say that you can't, you just need that right coach that's going to be like, hey, let's do this. Hey, you don't need to do that. So and there's great coaches out there that that believes in their students, and at that age they could do it the right way.
And where are you currently trained, and who is your like main coach right now?
Okay, right now, I just transitioned fully over to Champions MMA. So Coach Ross out in Champions, he's my head coach. He's my head. Then I have Coach Rudy. Um, and then I have, I do my cross training. So I have Coach Adriel, Coach Mark, Coach Solomon. Um, and then I just have like a bunch of teammates and guys that's willing to help me get better. I also have Coach Amanda. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't take the mental aspect as serious. So my coach Amanda, she's really, really good at not only being a coach for me, but being my mental coach as well. So that helps out big time.
And like you said, the mental part, the mindset, it's like one of the most important thing in this game. Because if you don't have it, you can be like great athlete, great fighter, hard to break, but something will be still missing, and you may not go to the highest level that you could with the right mindset.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
And do you train with the prospects, maybe on the amateur level, maybe like early in their pro career, the guys that maybe not right now, but in the future they can be like UFC fighters or PFL fighters?
I believe that any of the guys that I train with on the amateur scene, I believe any of them could definitely be on in the PFL, UFC, wherever they want to go. And also I train with the high level guys as well. Those guys that's in the UFC, those guys that's fought in the PFL. So and then I'm around, like I said, I'm around Coach Ross right now. Coach Ross has seen the world, and he shows me so much, man. He's so experienced, and I'm blessed, and I'm going to continue to learn from him. But the guys that he's put around me, um, it's great, and it's going to help me become better and show me, okay, you're right here. This is what we need to do to get you up here. So, yeah, and the guys that's around me, he doesn't treat me any different than he's going to treat an amateur, because the amateurs want to get to where I'm at, and I want to get to where he was. So it's all a team thing at the end of the day. It's teamwork.
And in your training, do you have like a part of the training that you don't really like, that you know that you have to do it, you are not like super excited about?
I mean, the thing I would, if I had to say one thing, I would say body conditioning. When we have to hit each other in the body, we have to kick each other in the leg. That would be, I would say that would be the most the thing I hate the worst. But that's what helps me get ready for my fights as well. So it works at the end of the day. You hate it when you're doing it, but after you're like, okay, feels good. It's what I needed.
Yes, sometimes the process is super hard, but the result is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like watching your fights, the fights that I have a chance to watch, you are of course a very good wrestler, a very good striker. You can submit people, but in your opinion, what is like the best tool that you have?
I would say my best tool, I would probably say is I would say having heart or confidence. I feel like when I hear that bell ring, each minute I'm getting better and better in the cage. So I would say that would be my best tool, is just having that heart to compete.
And I think that with the last fight, even the like cardio, you look good. And of course, it was the not 15 minutes fight, but like 20 or possibly even 25-minute fight. So I think that even the training that you did, it can give you some additional confidence that you know what you went through in this camp, and you know that next fight you will be fighting for the like CFFC title, or maybe in the near future like a UFC fight, you know that your cardio will be on point.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, I've been through some serious camps before, but the camp that I recently went through, I want to say it's one of the hardest camps that I've been through. And now that I've had that feeling and I've been through that, I know I can get through it. So now we're going to push a little bit harder. The difference is we're going to push a little bit sooner than later. That way, I can go ahead and get my body used to it, and then we can just stay in shape for the rest of the year, just in case we get that call, or if someone decides to sign a contract as well. So we're gonna stay ready. The cardio was there. The cardio was there for 5 rounds. We expected, we trained for 5 round fights. So, yeah, the cardio is always going to be there. That's never going to be an issue.
And of course you are at least in my mind, but I think that like ranking wise either like guy to watch, guy to who can be very close to the UFC. And do you have a like name in mind that you would like to face in this organization?
Someone that I would like to
Uh,
face
yeah, yes,
current.
fight. Yes, fight from the UFC.
Um, Honestly, I mean, I can't say a specific name, but I would definitely say like uh, whoever like the number 20 guy is, or 19 guy. I think that I could hang with them, and I think that with Coach Ross and the guys that he knows, and the guys that I'm surrounded by, I believe that they can help me improve my game to be ready for those guys. Training with like Billy Q, for example, and learning from Matt Arroyo. These guys are UFC vets. So I don't believe that I would ever take something that I wasn't confident in, and I think I would be fully prepared for any competition.
And who is your like favorite fighter to watch from either UFC or overall MMA?
Overall MMA, I would probably say Mighty Mouse. Man, it's so small, but so much heart, man, and confident. Very, very confident, and you have to have that mindset of I'm going to win no matter what, and that's what he has. Like yeah, that's overall. I would say Mighty Mouse, DJ.
And actually the things that he did in the UFC like a few years ago was like in the video game, and fighting against like top two, top three fighters in the world, and he dominated them so much that it was actually quite disrespectful even.
Oh yeah, he's fast. He's athletic. Striking's good. I mean, he just overall just really, really great.
And overall, when you are thinking about your future, do you see yourself in the few years in the like title contention in the UFC, or do you have a like title in mind that you would like to be in the UFC, like
Um,
UFC
so I'm
champion?
a, so I'm a realist. I believe that I've always told myself that when I make it to the UFC, then I'll become a champion. So I set goals for myself. So it's the next goal, make it to the UFC. After that, it's let's make it the top 15. After that, let's make it the top 10, top 5. champion. So I set these goals and we knock off each goal as we go. So to answer your question, yes, but in steps.
And outside of MMA, when you have some free time, what do you like to do then? Do you like watch movies, read the books, listen to podcasts, or do you have any like maybe something else, some other hobby?
No, I love to eat. I love to eat. So I try some new restaurants, or I'll get with some buddies and we just grill. Like my buddy Tony, he grills the burgers. Or I just try new restaurants, man. I try desserts. The downtime is, yeah, just a lot of eating or spending time with the family, missing that time for training camp. When I'm not with my kids, I give that back to them when off season. So actually, when I'm off the video with you, that's what I want to do. Spend some more time with them.
So about food, if you can eat one thing, one meal, you can order anything. What would you like to eat? Like only one thing.
Only one thing I would say: some steak from Oliver Farms, though. That organic. He's one of my John is one of my sponsors. He owns Oliver Farms out in on Sydney Road. He grows. Everything is organic, no GMO, anything like that. So, um, everything tastes different than when you go to fresh markets. And so I would say steak. If I had to choose one thing, steak.
And because of that you really like to eat, did you ever have any like issue with weight cutting?
Um, I've I've only had one issue with weight cutting before, but it was as an amateur. It was my first time cutting to 155. That was my only time where I had a serious weight cut. And if anyone's seen that weigh in, you can go back and look and you can see how bad I looked. I looked terrible. But now I have it down and I haven't had any issues. I mean, if we count amateur fights, I'm 13 fights in. So out of 13 fights, I've only had one issue, and that was cutting to 155 for the first time. But other than that, it's been pretty good. I changed my diet. I know when to eat bad. I know when to start cutting out things. And actually, next week I go back to my diet. So yeah, I'm gonna start cutting back down and eating better. Yeah, stay in the shape.
So it's I think that's very important that, like you said, you know when what you can do in what time.
Right, exactly. You have to, man. Or you just gonna keep blowing up and the weight's not gonna come off.
And I have two last questions, but they are outside of MMA. First is who was your favorite superhero when you were a kid?
Favorite superhero, probably gonna be probably gonna think this is corny, but I would say probably Goku from Dragon Ball Z. I would say that was my favorite superhero. Just the things that he had to go through to become stronger. Each fight, he got better. Each fight, he got stronger. Uh, and his intellect when it came to fighting anyone was above all. So I would say Goku for superhero.
And the last question is if you were stuck in the desert island and you can have only one thing from the like real world, what kind of thing would you like to have with you?
If I was stuck in the desert,
Yes, the deserted island.
oh, deserted island, and I can only have one
Oh,
thing.
yes, one.
I mean, oh, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. So, how long am I stuck in the desert?
Who knows?
See. Um, I would probably say, I would probably say I would probably say clean drinking water. I'm gonna say that because I can catch my own fish. You know, yeah. But I would say clean drinking water.
Okay, Morquez. So many thanks for the conversation. I'm really looking forward to your next fight, and I hope that in next year you will win another fight, and we can see you in the UFC or maybe Contender Series, and you will get a chance to win a UFC contract.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for the next one.